Hi guys, I'm Shmee, back in Germany, heading to Italy. It is time to be collecting the SF90 Stradale. So we're actually back with the two cars where we parked them up at the end of part one of Where's Shmee, here with my friends at the Satin Crew. We had the STO and the GTC4Lusso. We're going to be taking the STO over to the Satin Crew's new garage, parking that up for the time being. I'll give an update on where that's going. And for now, we're going to be throwing all of our luggage into the Lusso because, of course, we're heading to Maranello to collect the SF90. So what better than to head down there in a Ferrari to collect a Ferrari. Today we've got a few hours of driving ahead of us. We're going to be heading down from Germany through Austria into Italy, down to Motor Valley, down to the region of Ferrari, back where we technically were not all that long ago, but this time it is the long-awaited collection ahead of us in just a day or two of the SF90 Stradale. So let's get things loaded up, let's get some cold starts, let's get over to the Satin Crew's garage and onwards down to Italy. We've done a pretty good job of managing to squeeze everything in. We're actually going to be 3 up in the Lusso for today, and we have a very full boot, but this is the thing. It is the practical Ferrari. We have the number plates for the SF90, SH20 MEE. If you could dream it, you can do it. Mr. Enzo Ferrari. And I need to get the smart charger unplugged, which has been just plugged in here. With these cars, you always need to make sure that all is running well. We'll pack this up tightly in just a moment, because we also need to do this one. Now, the charger is plugged around the other side. We need to open up the Cofango, which is always a little bit of a process. I don't know why Lamborghini didn't install a much easier to find plug to be able to do this. But anyway, do one side, come and do the other side, get it all properly opened up. And then, when it is open, we can get this unplugged, make the most of our almost non-existent storage space that we've got in here, take off the clamps, pop away the charger when I've packed it in, and then finally we can get these started and get them outside, where unfortunately at the moment the weather is horrendous, which is frustrating, but it should be quite sunny when we get down towards Bologna. Let's go then. I suspect this is going to be quite loud in the garage, but that is perfect. So, take a listen. Time. If the V10 wasn't good enough, this, thanks to Novitec Switchtronic, should be amazing. Let's take a listen. Well, as I mentioned, the weather is not so nice today. If we have a look outside, that is the Satin Crew's AMG GT4 door up ahead of us, you might have just heard. This is normally a very lovely place to be. We actually have some snow around us, but today it's a little bit grim. Thankfully, we do have the all-season tyres, at least on this, and it's not freezing, it's 6 degrees, so we're not in, let's say, danger. If we were on some Trofeo R's or something super slippy right now, I would be very, very, very anxious. But as we go around the lakes, it's a nice place to be. It's just not the best for these kind of cars. Obviously they've been parked up for a very short amount of time, so everything's completely fine with them, and it's good to be back on the road. This car's now done, believe it or not, almost 3,000 miles. Actually, have a look here, 2,892 miles. That's happened very, very, very quickly. And it sounds like that. Obviously just warming things up a little bit for the moment. To go over to the Satin Crew's garage, which unfortunately at the moment doesn't have very many of their cars in it because they've only recently redone the place, but I'm looking forward to seeing it. Obviously love sharing different garages before we have our extended journey down onwards towards Italy. This is grim. This is really, really grim, but that's road trip life, hey? You can't control the weather, you just got to go with what it is. This is so gloomy, but I know what's about to happen. There's a tunnel ahead. Window down a touch. Wait for this. Nice. Yeah, that's all I got in me in these conditions. We'll take it easy. We're chilling. It's one of those days. There's, yeah, a lot of snow around. Obviously melting away fast. Actually, there's no snow where we are right now, but we keep going through areas with lots of snow. as we make our way over. Oh, that looks quite cool actually. RS e-tron GT, look kind of nice coming towards us. They have a good design on that car. I think it probably looks a touch better than the Taycan, but Taycan, Turbo S, can have that debate back and forth. We are arriving. Check this out. On the right, we've got the TRX, we've got the A45, we've got the GT4, obviously the AMG GT4 door. Oh, this is a nice space. This is cool. The 620R, the 675 LT Spider, and he said they weren't going to have any of the cars here. I'm going to leave this in the middle for the moment. Pop my lift system back down, stop start. We're going to have a little look around. This is looking really quite smart. Cool garage place, good setup. Now that the car is parked up, it is a case of getting the charger back in, and Lamborghini do not make this easy, but like that it is done. And those are, we'll have that carefully coming out here somewhere. It gets filthy inside. This is going to need a very thorough clean at some point, but for now, this is how it shall stay parked. Look at that, colour looks lovely, just needs to be cleaned up. Put tidy again. The STO is parked up, and in a moment I will tell you when we're going to see that car next for the fun adventures ahead. But given we're here at the Satin Crew's garage, we're of course with Alex.
How are you doing, Tim?
All good. Thank you for having my car in temporary residence.
Anytime. It's a huge honor to have your pink Lamborghini here.
It's a flash of color in the otherwise very satin black collection.
Yes. So it's good to have it here, and our STO will be joining shortly as well.
Hence,
so they match.
By the way, why we've got a little gap, but you know the problems as much as I do with the car collection.
Yes.
Everything's out.
Everything is everywhere. We're missing basically 70% of the collection right now. So they're in France, Germany, everywhere over the place, not in the US.
Service, broken, the usual.
Being washed, all that kind of stuff.
Events. So on that note, you do have two McLarens in.
Yes. And they're working both, no issues.
Amazing. The 675 LT Spider, one of 500, obviously, love it. 620R. I drove your 620R at the Red Bull Ring at our friend Jer Collector's event, which was epic. Drove it back to back with a Performante. There are only 250 of those?
Exactly, yeah. So they planned to build 350, which they couldn't sell, let's be honest. Yeah. So it's 250 now, yeah. Which is cool. More limited.
But hold on, other McLarens, you've got some more.
600 LT and 720S.
600 LT, which is a Spider.
Spider, yeah.
And the 720S.
Which also Spider.
And you had
765 LT is sold now, yeah.
Oh well. Okay.
It's a great car, but...
Still two McLarens.
Exactly.
Then we move on to the beast we've just been following.
Exactly.
This isn't a normal, just to get the full name, Mercedes AMG GT 63S 4MATIC Plus 4-door coupe.
That is right.
That's the name. It's not a normal one of those because it's something like 1,000 horsepower.
Should I open this up?
Yes, you should, because you've got the full body kit.
Full Top Car Inferno body kit with the AMG carbon weave style.
And then inside here, that usual search for where the catch is.
Yeah, it's a bit annoying sometimes.
Have a look at this.
So yeah, everything has been done. Fuel pumps, upgraded turbos, different exhaust, pushing over 1,000 horsepower obviously now.
But that carbon's cool.
Yeah, right.
Just gotta say.
Camouflage carbon. It's fun. It really is fun, especially because you can also have it on the exterior. But that's maybe a bit too much if you do camouflage there. So yeah.
Boom, ridiculous. 718 GT4, manual.
Yep.
Not PDK.
Not PDK.
Has to be manual.
If you get one of those, it has to be manual, different exhaust. And if you see all the cars are quite dirty, that's because we drive them and didn't really have time to clean them yet, so I'm sorry for that.
And all of your cars have your very cheesy sex plates.
Everyone thinks it's sexy, but it's not. And they all match, so it's perfect.
Next, AMG A45S. You've got the little one next to the big one.
That was the plan. Well, actually, it's not really the plan because a brother of this will be joining, which will go here very shortly.
Okay.
So this will move somewhere else, but this is not stock, this is not stock. Stock is boring.
Having one of these here in Europe, it's a bit of a monster.
Yes.
And I'm going to guess that the fuel bills aren't much fun.
No. I filled it up last week for like 270 euros, sadly. So basically right now this is sleeping, not being used.
For anybody watching in the US, where I know fuel prices have gone up a lot recently, here in Germany they're probably 2 or 3 times what they are in the US.
Yeah.
So when you fill up a car like this, oh boy.
I filled it up for 256 euros a litre. That is insane.
We've had a few even more than that, which is crazy. But let's not forget what's over here.
Frank the Tank, the best car in the collection. It's obviously the movie car, what we do for transportation, rolling shots, all that kind of stuff.
Like the luxury
Alcantara
van.
ceiling.
Alcantara.
Ceiling, yeah.
Headliner.
Headliner, sorry. And carbon fiber, Burmester sound system, fully loaded V-Class. Panoramic roof, everything. And this honestly is a great car. We had it for a year now, already 70,000 kilometers on it. Because, yeah, we take it everywhere.
You guys do serious miles, because we're just looking at the cars right now, but Satin Crew also happen to have a very large trailer.
A truck.
A truck and trailer, which kind of leads us on to what's happening next.
Yeah.
Where we're going to be going from here, or at least where my car's going to be going, is kindly with you guys.
Exactly.
To be taken from here to Easter weekend at the Nurburgring.
Yep.
Along with some of your cars.
Yep. And that will be absolutely fun.
What are you taking? Decided?
So probably STO as well, so we can have some matching stuff.
Ooh, 2 STOs.
620R.
Yep.
And then I have one free slot, which I'm not sure about yet.
Time to decide.
Yeah, something fun for sure.
So that's where we're going to catch up next, because you're going to take all of those up. We're going to drive with the Lusso and the SF90, having gone to some other places along the way.
Yeah.
And paths are going to collide at the Nurburgring, which sounds pretty good fun for me. So thank you for looking after it. We'll probably have to get setting off shortly in the Lusso. Yeah. We've got a long journey ahead. The funny thing is, we're on the journey already, and we've just stopped at exactly the same place where last time, with this car, let's just start it up, and with the STO, we had our little police check. So we pulled in because we needed to purchase the vignette sticker, but we've got that now. It's a pretty slow and steady drive today though, because obviously with this weather, you're not exactly going to be bombing it down the Autobahn. So let's get back out and continue onwards. And as it happens, this particular service stop is really confusing. There are lots of police everywhere around here as well, and the Autobahn has a restricted speed. So today it is a grand total of chilling, I think, at like 80 kilometers per hour. Yeah, literally 80 kilometers per hour. 50 miles per hour on the motorway. Swift progress ahead, or maybe not. We are already arriving at Austria. We have a bit of a border crossing. So we will slow down, crawl through here, slow down a lot, and then, goodness, 4 hours onwards from here. Jump ahead, and here we're arriving in Italia. We bring one of the Italian cars back to Italy. It was only on the day we left Italy that I actually drove the Lusso on Italian tarmac for the first time. We do, however, have a very long tunnel, I believe, at the moment. Only 500 meters or so, half a kilometer. We'll chill. We're following trucks anyway. But from here, we've still got about 3 hours to go, but at least we're back in Italy. The sun is starting to shine. The weather is supposed to be really quite nice here, thankfully, for the SF90, and the Blue Electrico is going to look magnificent. The only problem is that after driving on all of this salt and grime and dirt and rain and nastiness, this car is absolutely and totally filthy. So gonna have to think if there's a way of getting it cleaned up in time. But anyway, being up here in the mountains is very, very nice. It's about 8 or 9 degrees now, warmed up a touch. This car is right at home, and you know exactly what it's for, basically, as we head on in Italy, and things can open up slightly more than they could in Austria. In fact, we come to the main speed limit, and away we go. Sounds good. This is a bit spontaneous, but we were thinking, given it's now actually quite pleasant, in fact, look at this view up in the mountains, stunning and beautiful, and given it's not going to be raining again until we've collected the SF90 and we're taking a Ferrari back to the home of Ferrari, it would be rude to turn up with it looking like this, which is filthy just from the drive today. So, the plan of action is we just bought a card to take this into a wash box to self-service, give it a quick rinse down, which is perhaps not the best, but we're PPF'd, so we're not going to ruin it too much. You can't go through an automatic like driveway one, or that's going to tear it up and shred it up. But I can't turn up at Ferrari with my Ferrari this dirty to collect a new Ferrari. And if you're playing the Ferrari drinking game and you're taking a drink every time I say the word Ferrari, you've probably got a little Ferrari problem right now. Sorry for that. Anyway, very shortly, we'll get this inside, get it rinsed down, cleaned up because it's miserable, and then the journey continues. Thankfully, we have sunlight into the evening, so it should be quite a good drive ahead. This is basically a second run over at the back because that layer of grime is going to take a while to come off. Done the whole car once, doing the back of it quickly, and I know what you're thinking, using a brush on a Ferrari, this is awful, but I tell you what, this is the delights of PPF. One of the reasons why I have PPF on every car is that I can do this without worrying about it. Check that bubble out, looks kind of fun. Pop, gone. The only difficulty is all these black plastic parts at the rear, which you can't even opt to have in carbon, will stay looking a little bit mucky. That might be okay. Let's try giving this a bit of a rinse down, and then we'll get some wax on it. I think it's this one, number 4. Watch out, don't want to spray water at the camera. Get the back of this done. And hopefully within about 20 minutes or so, we're going to be back on the road. This is a nice efficient little rinse down for a very lovely blue Pozzi Ferrari GTC4Lusso. Well, this is looking a little bit better, but the best way to dry the car is to immediately go out and drive. So that is exactly what we shall do, and hopefully when it has dried, we're not going to see that I've done a completely awful job of this and it's still a total mess. In any case, it's going to be better than it was, and we haven't spent too long, so let's get back on the road. I'm chilling in the passenger seat and have been for a while, making a lot of phone calls, getting stuff done, but look at the views here. We're off the main motorway, which is a complete chock-a-block traffic jam. Obviously the sun is starting to set. We've probably added about an hour to the journey, unfortunately, but this is very, very, very beautiful. Anyway, something I just realized, which is quite funny, is that when we were in Austria, at that moment in time, I have, or had currently, cars I own in 6 different countries at the same time. The GT Black Series out in Dubai, the UAE, the GT500 in the USA, most of the cars obviously in the UK, the STO in Germany, the SF90 in Italy, and we were in Austria, which is a little bit crazy to think about logistically. Anyway, it does look again like there might be some changes to the plans and what's ahead with the SF90. These things have been so much in terms of curveballs and just getting the head around, but hey, it is what it is. We're continuing on into the evening. Hey, we're at Alla, Aerodynamica Lamborghini Attiva. That's what Alla means to me normally. Anyway, random one, but yes, we're continuing down through Italy. We've still got about an hour and a half to go, annoyingly, with all of the traffic, but we shall get there, and we shall be that little bit closer to the SF90 Stradale. I'm back at the wheel of the car. We have had so much traffic that today's journey has taken significantly longer than we'd expected, but we're actually very shortly to go past a pretty cool location, which I must have driven past countless times, but had never really taken in exactly where we are. But obviously, we're in Motor Valley, which is home to the Ferrari HQ, Lamborghini, Pagani, and plenty more, including, at a point in its history, the home of Bugatti, here in Campo Galliano. I hope I've said that about right, which is right here. The blue buildings. That was the home of the EB110. The EB logo is Ettore Bugatti. Right there. Kind of fun. Little fact, a bit of sightseeing on our way through. Anyway, I backed off the pace because I wanted to make sure we didn't miss those. Obviously no longer in the hands of anybody in connection with it all, but Bugatti now being based in Molsheim in France, where I visited a few times as well. We've made it, but come and have a look at this quickly. Obviously, we had this car filled up when we parked it. It's driven all the way from Germany on the Autobahn through Austria to Italy. We have travelled on this tank of fuel 542.3 kilometres, and we have 120 kilometres of range to go. 662 theoretical kilometres. That's over 400 miles out of one tank. Now, I'm not going to pretend the tank of fuel, particularly at the moment, in a V12 Ferrari GTC4Lusso, is at the friendly end. But I tell you what, if you're having a complete cruise and a lot of the journey is taking it as easy as we have done, it's actually not all that bad. Now, with all of the traffic, that was 6 or 7 hours in total in the end, but we're back in a very familiar car park again with this car. and thankfully looking a little bit cleaner. I do want, before we're at Maranello, to clean off the bugs off the windscreen, because standard problems when you're on a road trip, and just make it look a little bit tidier. But we're here, and being here means it's not long now. I think probably a day or two, and then finally the Shmee SF90 is going to be in my hands, and I cannot wait to share that with you, because this car looks amazing and it's going to be a lot of fun for what's in store for it in the very near future, even if it's again not going to be what I intended it to be, because that's how these trips tend to go. For now though, time to unpack, empty out all of the stuff that we've got in the car, work out what's going to be happening next, and continuing with this really quite cool adventure. Thanks as always for watching, guys. Your support is hugely appreciated. Stay tuned. It is very nearly SF90 time. That's it for now. Cheers.